She had it all. It's the daughter of an action movie legend and an iconic supermodel. With a black belt in martial arts that made her a can't-miss prospect for WWE, Arissa LeBrock seemed destined for superstardom. So why, after just one tryout, did she completely vanish from the wrestling world? The truth isn't some juicy story about a bad attitude or a lack of talent. It's about a single, career-altering moment that almost ended her dream before it ever truly began. The wrestling business is full of what-if stories. Prospects who show up with all the hype in the world, only to fade away without a trace. Sometimes it's a creative issue, sometimes it's personal, but more often than not, it's the brutal, physical reality of the job. The story of Arissa LeBrock is one of the most interesting and misunderstood of them all. To figure out why she disappeared, we have to look at why everyone was so excited in the first place. She wasn't just another hopeful. She was the perfect storm of Hollywood legacy, legit athletic skills, and undeniable star power. To really get why WWE was so interested in Arissa LeBrock, you just have to look at her family tree. She's the daughter of two completely different but equally famous icons from the 80s and 90s. Her dad is, of course, Steven Seagal, the stoic, ponytailed action hero who owned the box office with movies like Savag, Under Siege, and Hard to Kill. Seagal wasn't just an actor playing a tough guy. He's a legitimate 7th Dan black belt in Aikido. His whole on-screen vibe was about being this untouchable, almost mystical martial arts master. That right there gave Arissa a built-in story of fighting spirit. Her mom is Kelly LeBrock, the supermodel and actress who basically defined the 1980s as the star of The Woman in Red and the classic comedy Weird Science. Kelly was the dream girl for a whole generation. She brought the glamour, beauty, and Hollywood A-list factor. You put those two together and you get Arissa, a fascinating mix of raw-knuckled action and high-fashion celebrity. For a company like WWE, which is built on larger-than-life characters with great backstories, that's a marketing goldmine. But Arissa wasn't just coasting on her parents' fame. She'd already been making a name for herself as a successful plus-size model, becoming a voice for body positivity in the fashion world. She even starred with her mom on the Lifetime reality show Growing Up Supermodel, which showed how hard it is for the kids of celebrities to forge their own paths. And here's the most important part. Like her dad, she was deep into martial arts, but she chose her own path. Arissa dedicated herself to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, a grappling art that's a cornerstone of modern MMA. This wasn't just a hobby. It gave her a serious athletic foundation. A background in BJJ is hugely respected in wrestling. It shows discipline, toughness, and a real knowledge of submission combat. It's the same base that made stars like Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler so credible. So, when the news dropped in late 2019 that Arissa LeBrock was getting a WWE tryout, the wrestling world started buzzing. She had the name, the look, reality TV experience, and legit combat skills. She was the total package. The storylines basically write themselves. Could she be the next baddest woman on the planet? The hype was real, and her future looked incredibly bright. To understand what happened next, you have to know what a WWE tryout actually is. It's not a simple audition. It's a multi-day nightmare designed to push athletes to their absolute breaking point, both physically and mentally. It's a process that has humbled countless hopefuls. These tryouts go down at the WWE Performance Center in Orlando. It's Floridon Invite-a-Noli event, where the company looks for its next generation of superstars. They bring in everyone from former NFL players and Olympians to indie wrestlers and, of course, people with unique backgrounds like Arissa. From the second they walk in, they're being watched. Coaches are looking for more than just raw athleticism. They want to see resilience, coachability, charisma, and that magic it factor. The physical drills are legendary. They're designed to weed out anyone who isn't in world-class shape. You're running the ropes until your legs feel like jelly, doing endless squats and push-ups, performing complex in-ring drills that test your coordination and ability to think when you're completely exhausted. It's controlled chaos, meant to simulate the pressure of performing live on Monday Night Raw. Then there's the infamous promo class. You're thrown in front of your peers and told to cut a promo, often with zero prep time. You have to sell a character, connect with an audience, and do it all under the judgmental eyes of the people who hold your career in their hands. For someone like Arissa, the physical part should have been her advantage. Thanks to her BJJ training, she was used to pain and exhaustion. But the wrestling ring is a different beast. Taking bumps, running the ropes, it requires a unique kind of cardio. Even elite athletes from other sports can find it overwhelming. And it was somewhere in that grueling, high-stakes chaos that it all went wrong. While pushing her body to the limits, Arissa suffered a major injury. The exact details were never made public, which is pretty standard for the wrestling world, but it was bad enough to end her tryout on the spot. It wasn't just a sprain. It was a career-altering injury that stopped everything. In an instant, the dream was over. One bad landing, one wrong move, and the entire trajectory of her career changed forever. After the injury at her WWE Tryout, Arissa LeBrock just vanished from the wrestling scene. For fans and news sites that were excited about her potential, it was a sudden and confusing silence. One minute, she's this hot prospect, and the next, there's nothing. No announcement from WWE, no social media posts about joining the Performance Center, just gone. This is where the wrestling rumor mill, which is a beast of its own, went into overdrive. Without any official news, people started guessing. Was her attitude bad? Or did she not have the right stuff? Did she just quit? The wildest and most baseless rumor was that she had been banned from WWE. The story went that some huge backstage incident happened that got her blacklisted. But let's be clear, there has never been a single credible report to back this up. It was pure internet fan fiction, created to fill the void. The reality was much simpler, and honestly, more tragic for an aspiring athlete. She wasn't banned. She was hurt. She had to step away from the spotlight to focus on rehab. Serious injury takes time and dedication to heal, far away from public scrutiny. And since she was never officially on the WWE roster, there was no reason for the company to make a public statement. As far as they were concerned, it was a private matter for a tryout candidate. This kind of thing happens all the time in wrestling. Fans see someone disappear and immediately assume the worst backstage drama or creative disputes. But the truth is usually much more human. These are athletes, and they get injuries that can sideline them for months, or even permanently. In Arissa's case, because it happened before her career even started, it created a deeper mystery. She vanished before she ever really arrived, leaving everyone to wonder what happened to the can't-miss prospect with the Hollywood pedigree. For a while, it really looked like Arissa LeBrock's wrestling story was over. The injury killed her momentum, and the WWE dream seemed to be fading away. But behind the scenes, a comeback was starting to take shape. And it came with the help of one of the most respected veterans in the game, Dustin Rhodes. Dustin Rhodes, who millions know as the iconic Goldust in WWE, isn't just a legendary performer. He's also a fantastic coach. After leaving WWE, he became a foundational piece of AEW and opened his own school, the Rhodes Wrestling Academy. It was Dustin who reached out to Arissa after hearing what happened. He saw her untapped potential and offered her a second chance. Come train at his academy, away from the high-pressure cooker of the WWE system, and rebuild at her own pace. Arissa jumped at the opportunity. She moved to Texas and dove headfirst into learning the craft under Dustin's guidance. In interviews, Rhodes has praised her work ethic, saying she's trying to get everything, all her ducks in a row. She's doing a great job, but this is only the beginning for her. He even said he believes that soon, the whole world's going to be talking about Arissa LeBrock. Training with Dustin was a game-changer. It let her learn from a master of character and psychology in a supportive but demanding environment. All that hard work paid off in March 2023, at a showcase for the Rhodes Wrestling Academy. Arissa LeBrock made her official pro wrestling debut. This was the moment that was stolen from her years earlier. This wasn't in a WWE arena, but it was in a ring, in front of a crowd, and on her own terms. It was the official start of her journey and a successful comeback from what could have been a career-ending injury. Her vanishing act was no longer a mystery. It was now the first chapter in a story about resilience. The story of why Arissa LeBrock vanished from WWE isn't about scandal or being banned. It's a harsh lesson in the brutal physical reality of professional wrestling. A single serious injury during an intense tryout is the real reason her WWE journey was cut short. The silence that followed fueled years of rumors, creating a mystery where there wasn't one. But her story doesn't end with that injury. It's a story of pure resilience. Sidelined, but never defeated, Arissa found a new way forward. Guided by a legend like Dustin Rhodes, she rebuilt her dream from scratch, moved to a new state, and finally made her debut on her own terms. She proved her passion for this business was the real deal. Her journey from a hyped prospect with a famous last name to an injured hopeful, and now to a professional wrestler making her own way, is an incredible story in itself. The initial excitement might have been about her parents, but this comeback story is one she's writing all on her own. The chapter on her WWE disappearance is closed, but the book on her wrestling career is just getting started. So, what do you think is next for Arissa LeBrock? With her legit background and a ton of determination, could you see her showing up in a major promotion like WWE or AEW down the road? Let us know what you think in the comments. And if you enjoyed this look into one of wrestling's modern mysteries, do us a favor and hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss another story.